Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Combermary people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Christy Kidgerina. It's Wednesday, August 2. In Squiz Kids Today, the Matildas' great big win, Siberia's napping nematodes, tracking animals in the wild, and Tonga's sky-high heroin. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
I know this is a bit unconventional for the lowdown, but I'd like to apologise to my neighbours for all the ruckus coming from my place on Monday night. The Matildas were just too good, scoring a whopping 4 goals to Canada's 0 to make their way into the knockout round of 16 teams in the FIFA Women's World Cup, going through at the top of our group, along with Nigeria. Hayley Raso scored twice before Mary Fowler and captain Steph Catley got a goal each. And even though she was available, superstar striker Sam Kerr didn't need to take the field as she continues to recover from a calf injury. Fingers crossed she'll be right for the next game. And it seems I'm not the only one who's been shouting, as possibly every single one of the 38,000 Colombian-born Aussies attended Colombia's match against Germany at the Sydney Football Stadium on Sunday night. Arriving hours early, wearing canary yellow shirts and banging drums and blowing whistles, they may have been the Colombian team's secret weapon because the team, ranked 27 in the world, beat the Germans, ranked second, by 2 goals to 1. The last time the German team lost a game in the group stage was way back in 1995. So there's definitely something to be said for making a bit of a ruckus when the Matildas play again on Monday night. Come on!
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Siberia, which is way up north. In fact, some of Siberia even falls within the Arctic Circle. It can get really cold. So who could blame some worms for taking a really long nap? Okay, so I know that doesn't sound newsworthy, but what if I told you that they'd been napping for 46,000 years? That's so long ago that Neanderthals were painting their caves and mammoths were a thing. The worms are a species of nematode or roundworm, not the pink wriggly ones you might see in the garden, but the microscopic, parasitic variety that live in your gut and might give you or your dog an itchy bum if you don't wash your hands before eating. Listen to your mums, kids. Scientists know how old they are because they've been able to date the plant material they were found with. And when they were thawed, they started wriggling around and chowing down on a meal of bacteria. That wouldn't be my first choice of a meal after 46,000 years, but I don't want to yuck their yum.
Animal Kingdom.
Oh, hey, it's so great you could join me on this little walk through the bush. I love it out here. The way the sun dapples through the leaves and the smell of the eucalypts on the breeze. And what's that? It was a curlew. Oh, and there's the green tree frog. And, koala? It's getting a bit crowded out here. Let's head back inside. Bioacoustics, the study of sounds that occur in nature, is really important because it can help us identify which animals live where, even when we can't see them. The sounds give us clues to how the animals are doing and how they're communicating with each other. With National Science Week just around the corner, the good people at ABC Science are looking to discover Australia's favourite animal sound, They have a whole heap of recordings on their website, and you can listen and vote for your favourite sound. I've stuck a link in your episode notes. Maybe you can discover who's been living in your neighbourhood.
Squiz Kids salutes.
Do you ever look up and take notice if a plane flies over your house? Have you ever run outside to take a look? Growing up on a tiny island in Tonga, Sylvia McLeod did just that. I love that her name is McLeod, by the way, because that's where she ended up. Sylvia has become the first Tongan woman to earn her pilot's license. Her childhood home had no electricity or flushing toilet, and Sylvia didn't even know that it would be possible for her to become a pilot. She thought it was a job for, quote, clever people. But after moving to Australia and learning how to read a map, use a washing machine, and drive a car, Sylvia's husband surprised her with flying lessons for her 32nd birthday. By the time she was 37, Sylvia had achieved what she had never thought possible, working as a full-time pilot for Royal Tongan Airlines and making those pilot announcements in her native language. Now, Sylvia McLeod has written a book about her achievements, and her advice? Never look to the top of the mountain. Just focus on that step in front. Sounds like great advice to me. Squiz Kids salute you, Sylvia.
Squiz Kids Live.
Look out, Canberra, I'm coming for you. Announcing Squiz Kids Live, where your favourite podcast comes to life on stage in a fun-filled show for all the family. Presented by me and featuring a bunch of special guests, quizzes, a bit of educational content, Squiz Kids merch, and our first ever super fun Squiz Kids Disco. It's our first of what I hope will be many live shows around the country, and it's happening in Canberra on Saturday, October 14. And personally, I cannot wait to meet you all. There's a link in today's episode notes for more information and how to buy tickets. All I would say is hurry up, because there's only a limited number of tickets and they're gonna sell fast. I mean, we're not talking Taylor Swift fast, but you'll want to get in early so as not to miss out. So don't just sit there, get booking already.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. Which team beat Germany for the first time in 28 years in the group stage of the FIFA Women's World Cup? That's right, it was Colombia. Question number 2. How long had those Siberian nematodes been napping for? Well done if you said 46,000 years. Question number 3. What is the name for the study of the sounds of nature? That was a tricky one. Good work if you said bioacoustics.
Shout outs.
It's August 2, or should I say, Pawgust 2, because that's what Guide Dogs Australia and Blind Low Vision New Zealand are calling this month. They're asking people to walk or run, presumably with your precious pooch if you have one, to raise money to support guide dogs. I've stuck a link in your episode notes if you want to learn more. That really deserves a round of applause. Yeah, okay, it wasn't one of my better jokes. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Paige from Junee, Dion from Cannon Hill, Aloysius from Plumpton, Magenta from Heathpool, Isaac from West Pennant Hills, Louise from Bella Vista, Ivy from Burley Waters, Asha from Doncaster, Penny listening all the way over there in Thailand. Belated birthday shout-outs go to Cruz from Browns Plains, Sam from Darwin, Peretti from Thursday Island, Vihan from Chatswood, Sharda from Carlingford, William from Brighton East, Holly from Warrawee, Jack from Duffy, Daniel from Ithaca Creek, Janelle and Tane from Schofields, and Jocelyn, listening all the way over there in Nashville, Tennessee. Classroom shout-outs today go to Class 3-4 and Ms. Lise at Chiang Mai Future School in Thailand. Class 4H and Mrs. Harrison at Henschke Primary School in Wagga Wagga. Upper Primary and Miss Carter at Gamaraka Primary School in South Australia. Class 4LA with Mrs. Longcar, Ms. Abraham and Ms. Day at St Michael's Catholic Primary School in Borkham Hills. Class 3-4 with Mrs. Harriet at Scott's Head Public School. And lastly, but not leastly, to Class 5JG at Albany Hills State School, and a happy birthday to their teacher, Mr. G. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you want a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. That's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day.